Breaking news. Moments ago, we filed the California Voter ID Initiative for the 2026 election. Coming up, we'll tell you how your support and help will be urgently needed to make this initiative the law of the state of California for all future elections. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative representing District 75 in the state assembly. You and I both know that California's election processes are an utter disaster. They are fraud prone. They do not have the integrity necessary that the public deserves to have trust and confidence in the outcome of our elections. We have seen the polling showing that voters in California, even in California, consider California's approach to elections to be fraud prone, to have integrity issues. The liberal media and California Democrat politicians continue to say nothing is wrong. But here are the realities of California election laws. Number one, we do not verify citizenship when people register to be on the voter rolls. It is simply the pinky swear, the honor system. All you have to do is say that you're a citizen. No check is done. That is a fact. The liberal media refuses to point out that there is no documentation required to prove someone's citizenship. It is simply their own personal attestation. Second, the voter rolls are not properly maintained. These voter rolls have people who've moved out of the state years ago. But the voter rolls, inadequate and out of date as they are used to do mail outs of ballots to everyone. So there are orphan ballots that are mailed out to people who no longer live at the addresses that they're sent to. Third, California politicians have legalized the very fraud-prone practice of ballot harvesting, allowing left-wing organizations to go out and collect ballots and return them. Fourth, the signature reviews are inadequate in California on the mail-in ballots. They do not properly review the accuracy and the match on signatures. And finally, fifth, we do not have a requirement to process ballots in a timely fashion in California. And that's why several races were decided 2 to 3 weeks after the election day, as they kept finding ballots and processing ballots. Now, Democrat politicians and the liberal media will say, there's no proof that anything bad is happening. That's like saying we ought to operate a bank with no lock on the front door. There's no proof that anything bad is happening, but sure enough, we question the balance on the accounts. We don't know whether people are coming and going and stealing in the middle of the night. And we also have documented examples of problems. We know in California that there has been voter fraud. We know in California that voters feel like there's not enough checks and balances, internal controls. And so whether the fraud problem is a little problem or a great problem, as many of us are concerned about, why don't we settle the debate? The best way to restore public trust and confidence and put in place internal controls for verification of identity and citizenship is to pass the California Voter ID Initiative. And we have filed that law in the state legislature this week. Here are the requirements. Number one, a simple voter ID requirement that you have to have a government issued ID in order to vote in state elections, a driver's license or other government issued ID. And that you have to, if you want to use mail-in ballots, use the last 4 digits of the license or the government ID that you select in order to verify your identity. Now, I know some of you say illegals get licenses in California. I don't like that practice, but we already have a provision that would say that the ID that is used has to be citizenship verified. Second, accountability for citizenship verification. We would require that an election official not just take someone's word that they're a citizen, but require that a government-related document be provided by the individual to verify their citizenship. Third, an accountability mechanism to maintain accurate voter lists. An audit would be done on the accuracy of the voter lists in order for the county to use that list for mail-in ballots. Fourth, a times certain that each county would have to finish their ballot processing. And finally, an audit of the signature review process to ensure that it is accurately and adequately implemented by election officials. All 5 of these requirements would restore public trust and confidence because they attack the areas where election fraud, voter fraud, is the highest risk. We've got to get this implemented in the state of California. If we don't get this implemented in the state of California, our democracy's health is at risk. Voter ID is a common sense reform that a supermajority of voters in California support. A supermajority of Republicans, 90%, 78% of independents, and even a majority of Democrats support a voter ID requirement for the state of California. The only people who don't support it, the liberal media, as well as California Democrat politicians who will not vote this forward. Now, we're hoping they will vote it forward, but we're not naive. We're not Pollyannish. We know that they will not give this bill consideration in the legislature. And that's where you come in. Go to the website, electionintegrityinitiative.com. electionintegrityinitiative.com. It will take you to this page on our Reform California campaign site. You need to sign the petition on that page. It contains additional information as to what we're doing with voter ID in the state of California, but sign the petition on that page. If you want to get to the petition directly, go to voteridpetition.org, voteridpetition.org. That will take you directly to the petition that you can put in your first name, your last name, your email, your phone, your street address, city, state, and zip code. Submit that. That adds you to the list so that when we are approved for wet signatures on the state petitions, because we're going to need 1 million signatures to put this on the ballot if the legislature doesn't put it on, if it doesn't approve it. I don't think it will. When you sign this petition online, you will then be added to the mailing list so that when we're getting approval from the Secretary of State for the wet signature petitions, you'll be the first to get a copy of the petition. We've got to build this House list. So share this petition, voteridpetition.org, voteridpetition.org, with your friends, neighbor, and family and colleagues, your best friend from 20 years ago, whoever you can who's a registered voter in the state of California, get them to sign this petition at voteridpetition.org. Also, we need you to serve as a volunteer. I know no one has extra time to spend on things, but I think this is a pretty important reform that if we get implemented in the state of California, it would be a game changer to help flip our state from blue to red. I think that this would restore not only the integrity of elections, but give us a level playing field, a fair chance at winning seats far into the future. And so I'm asking you to volunteer. And as a volunteer, we will train you, mentor you, guide you, support you, and yes, work with you to get 10 or more signatures on the petition once we get cleared for the wet signatures. So don't just sign that one website saying, hey, I'll be part of the voter ID movement by signing it myself. That's at voteridpetition.org. Go to voteridvolunteer.org, voteridvolunteer.org, and it'll take you to this form. And this means that you'll help not only sign the petition yourself, but you will volunteer to collect additional signatures. There, give us your first name, your last name, your street address, your email address, your city and zip code. Then let me know, can you get 10 signatures? Oh, I think you can get 10 signatures. Can you get 25, 100, or 250, or more than 250? The reason why we're asking this is we have to gauge how many signature volunteers we have and what level of effort we think that they're going to be able to perform at. Also, we are building a statewide campaign organization. We're asking people to serve as team leaders. Now, you can do this on your own. You can be a volunteer on your own, or you can recruit 3 to 5 of your friends to be a team and mentor them and help them get signatures. Be an area leader to manage 5 to 10 teams in your city, or a regional leader. Maybe in your county, you can manage 5 to 10 area leaders. Again, we're not asking you to do this just on your own. We will recruit, train, mentor, and guide you every step of the way. But we need to know, are you interested in being a team leader, an area leader, or a regional leader for the California Voter ID campaign, the signature drive? And again, we're going to need to get a total of 1 million signatures to put this on the ballot. Finally, we need gas in the tank. Go to voteridinitiative.com. It'll take you to a direct campaign donation page. These funds go directly into our voter ID campaign. Please give whatever you can, because we will have to pay for the printing of the petitions, the management of the effort. Even volunteers require paid managers that we hire, our lawyers to litigate, but also we will have a paid signature program as well on the street. We need to raise $1 million to make this possible. Go to voteridinitiative.com, voteridinitiative.com, to help us put fuel in the tank to make this campaign a reality. Look, voter ID is something that President Trump has said we need. He's endorsed it, but it's up to us to put it on the ballot in 2026. So please go to that website, those websites, to sign the initiative, to become a volunteer, or to contribute. Again, the 3 websites to go to: voteridpetition.org means you sign the petition itself, and we'll send you a wet signature copy when we're cleared for the wet signatures. Second, voteridvolunteer.org, sign up as a volunteer. Or voteridinitiative.com, contribute, or do all 3 of those things. Please act immediately. We are meeting with coalition partners and sharing with them how many people have signed the online petition, how many volunteers have signed up to collect petitions, and how much money have we raised. If we can show coalition partners that we have a lot of support, they're offering us matching funds, but they want to see that we can do this. I can't do this without your help. Please go to one of those websites right now and join the fight. Otherwise, we're not going to get voter ID. It's all up to you. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California State Representative. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.